Hi, everyone. It's Diane Martin, and I am the president of Rhodes Scholars RN, which is a nursing education company. And I'm also a life coach and success coach. And what I want to talk about today is creating a successful life. I think that's what most of us want. We want lives filled with happiness, joy, and success in all facets of our life. So what we're going to be discussing today is a little bit of background on me and why I'm presenting this material. I want to talk a little bit about how successful we are in today's world and some strategies that you can use right away to get from where you are now to a more successful place where you want to be, and give you an idea of some resources that you may want to investigate for living a more successful life. So this is a couple of pictures of me, and I'm going to move that around so you can see them. I'm a nurse, and I've been one since 1974, which was a very long time ago. And most of my years of practice were in home health nursing and hospice as an executive and leader. And I was the director of the Chicago VNA for a while, and also of Elmhurst Hospital Home Care and Hospice. I've also worked for two national consulting companies in healthcare. And since 2005, I've been a nurse educator, thinking it was going to be kinder and gentler, but actually it's a very hectic and regulated world in nursing education. I'm also a faculty member right now at St. Xavier University, and I'm in the training program to join the faculty at Capella. I also teach at Regis University. I'm a wife and a mother. That's a picture of my daughter in the upper right-hand corner. She's a massage therapist and just moved into her own condo. I miss her, but I would say it's a good miss. I have 3 dogs, a cat, and a parrot, which is too many pets, but I love them all. And I write poetry and nonfiction, and I'm currently working on a book called The Conscious Nurse. I also do an art form, which is a lot like doodling, called Zentangle. And if you're interested, you can look it up in the internet, and there's a lot of information about it. I'm also a speaker, and important and relevant to my material today is the fact that I'm part of a group called the Passion Test. And the Passion Test is really a simple tool, but very powerful, that helps people identify their life's purpose and what would allow them to lead their ideal life. I'm also a success coach through the Jack Canfield training program. And I'm currently a success coach, and I'm going to some advanced training with Jack in November. So success, where has it gone? In the United States, we know that we're the wealthiest country. We have the most resources. And we have a lot of opportunity for people. However, the Gallup organization found in, I believe this is data from 2014, that only 25% of the workforce in the United States is satisfied and engaged with their jobs. That means that 75% of us were leading lives of quiet desperation, and maybe in a role or spending a great deal of their career doing something that they weren't really excited about, or that didn't get them up in the morning with enthusiasm about going to work. On a worldwide basis, that figure drops to 13%, which isn't surprising. So the majority of people, regardless of their financial abundance or what they're doing, really don't feel like they've been successful. And actually, as the studies drilled down, they found that wages and the level of the job is less important to people than their relationship with their managers, feeling a sense of accomplishment and having a sense of meaning about the job. So people don't leave jobs because of benefits and salary. They leave because of the relationships or the lack of effective relationships with the people that they work for. So success is obviously highly individualized, and it's part of all aspects of life. So these are the major parts of our lives that make up our individual success plans. Certainly our relationships. If we have a significant other or a life partner, our children, our relatives, our friends. Our career is obviously a major, major part of our job, what we do for a living. Also, our sense of financial abundance. Do we have enough? Do we have enough to accomplish what we hope to? Money is likely not an end in itself, but it allows us some flexibility with what we have and what we can do. Recreation and free time, hobbies may be part of our success plan and what we do with our free time. Also, our health and vitality are important. When that is compromised severely or acutely, it's very difficult to lead a successful life. That said, over the years, I've worked with many people with significant disabilities or chronic illnesses that really feel that they're successful because they're living their ideal lives in many other ways. And last, personal issues. That might be your connection to source or spirit, your religious beliefs, your values, your contribution to society, which really goes to the legacy and the service that you provide. Part of being successful generally incorporates what you give back. And studies have shown that giving and being of service often brings much more of a sense of accomplishment and success than acquiring things does. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. So the first principle I want to talk about in leading a successful life is that it's up to you to call the shots. You need to take 100% responsibility for your own success. I believe that we each create our lives. We're not puppets, we're not victims. Despite issues around the family you were born into, the society you were brought into, you have choices to make from the time that you become an adult. And the only thing standing between you and what you want is your own actions, your own beliefs, and your own thoughts. So successful people don't blame others or complain, but they accept their role in the results that they achieve. So the success formula that I learned from Jack Canfield is E plus R equals O. In that formula, E is an event. It's what occurred or the circumstances we face. R is our reaction to that reality. And O is the outcome. So if you're the only part of that equation that we really have control over is our own response or our beliefs relative to an event. So let me give you an example. I was at a retreat last weekend and I fell down and hit my head rather severely on a piece of concrete. I had to go to the hospital and get stitches. Now, I'm the one that tripped over this large brick, but I came out of it being thankful that I wasn't injured more severely. I hit my leg. I really banged my head hard, but I didn't have a concussion. I had a few stitches and I came home. So the outcome for me was favorable, and my response was under my control. I could have cried, I could have gotten on a plane and come home, but instead I realized that more than anything else, the universe protected me. So one way to look at this is to consider what your life would be like if you took just 10% more responsibility for your own outcomes. And think about that. If I were to take 10% more responsibility for my outcomes, my relationship with my husband, for example, I wouldn't nag him. I wouldn't give orders. I would ask him and collaborate with him about our division of labor in the household. One resource that I'd suggest is the Complaint-Free World. This is a website and a system developed by a minister, I believe he's from the South, and he created purple armbands or wristbands that people can wear, and the challenge is to go 30 days in a row without complaining, blaming, or assuming anything but personal responsibility for our lives. So the challenge is to go 30 straight days without blaming or complaining. Now, when you're wearing the purple bracelet, the idea is that if you do complain or blame, you take the band off and put it on the other wrist. And the goal is to go 30 days in a row without having to switch the band. I can tell you it took me almost 5 months to get 30 consecutive days. So blaming and complaining becomes kind of second nature to us. And if you're really intent on being successful, this behavior and the automatic nature of it needs to be taken out of your equation. We each create our own life and our reality based on our thoughts, our perceptions, and we need to move from feeling as if we're victims and move into a creator mentality and reframe our level of accountability in the equation. Another principle is that really you spend time identifying why you're here on this planet and what you're passionate about. So have you sat down and really thought about what is your purpose for being? We're all here with a unique contribution to make. No two people have the exact same blueprint for their lives. So it's important that you intentionally sit down and make conscious choices about what you want to accomplish in each of the areas of life that we discussed. The passion test process, where I'm a facilitator, is really helping people answer the question, and it's simple. When my life is ideal, I am fill in the blank. And that can be done in any of the areas of life that we discussed earlier. If you're interested in taking a closer look at this or completing the passion test online, I've got the website up here for you. The program was designed by Janet and Chris Atwood, who wrote a best-selling book on the subject. And on their website, you can take the passion test right online, which is a good way to start. So we then help people, once they've identified and kind of refined what would make their life ideal, we help them prioritize and identify the top 5 passions and identify what would be markers of those. And a marker isn't a goal, it's really the finish line. So if one of my passions is to be a best-selling author, a marker of that might be having my book published and have it on the bestseller list. Or if I'm a swimmer and I want to be in the Olympics, a marker that I've achieved that would be getting a gold medal or maybe a bronze medal. The secret to living a passionate life is that you live according to your passions. So whenever you have a choice to make, a decision, or you have an opportunity, you need to choose in favor of your passions. One of my passions, for example, is international travel, and that was one of my top 5 priorities. And in the last several years, I've been to India, Cambodia, Vietnam, Mexico, Ireland, and I really feel like I'm pretty much living that according to my passion. So likely when I redo the prioritization of my passions, something else will emerge toward the top of the list. And as Janet and Chris have paved the way, the idea here is to set your intention to achieve your life purpose and passions, then attend to it, which is really the action steps. A lot of the success principles are based on the law of attraction, and some people erroneously think that the law of attraction means I say, I want to be a billionaire, or I am a billionaire, and that the money is just going to come flowing in. You really do need to take deliberate action to help you get to that point. And then once you've done everything you can think of and taken all the actions that you can plan for, then you need to hand it over and let the universe help you manifest that passion. And that's the no tension part. You have to have trust that whatever you've wanted or something better will manifest in your life. But you do need to take deliberate attention and action steps. Another important principle is that you set and track your goals. The goal is really what you want to achieve, and it should include a measurement and a time frame. So, for example, if I just say I want a beautiful home, that's not specific enough. A better goal would be I'm living in a beachside home with 3 bedrooms and a garden by January of 2017. Or, as one of my goals is, I'm lean at mean and mean at my ideal weight of 125 by December of 2016. Studies have shown that people with written goals are 60% more likely to reach them and to achieve their success than people who don't have any goals. One other activity that I would suggest is that you make a list of 150 items that are your life goals. Those would be in 3 categories. What do you want to do? What do you want to be? And what do you want to have? So if you want to skydive and you want to have $1 million of money in your savings account, and you want to have a sports car, those would all be examples of goals. And to quantify them and make them measurable, you would want to have a time frame and a way to measure it to see if you actually got there. The more clear you can be on your goals, the more likely you are to achieve them. One of the success principles that I've used a great deal is locating and forming a tribe. Throughout history, tribes have served the planet and the people on it. It's a banding together of like-minded people who serve and support each other. And one recommendation is to be in a tribe or a group with people who've reached the goals that you desire. In my case, I want to have a successful nursing consulting company. So I've identified a group of people who've already done that. And I'm interviewing them to find out what they did and pick their brain about what worked for them and what didn't. It's important that you surround yourself with supportive and positive people. Many of us, when we tell a friend, even a close friend, about an idea or a strategy or a goal we have, they may be quick to tell us what won't work and why it's an impossible dream. And you really don't want to be influenced by that. You want to find people who are going to support your dreams and help you get there. One way to do that is to form a mastermind group. And I'm actually in several groups now. And we talk on the phone. There are 4 of us. And we share on a weekly basis our wins, what our intentions are for the next period, and we all celebrate each other's successes together. That really helps me with accountability and support and asking for help when I need it. So you want to avoid people who are critics or complainers or naysayers. You don't necessarily need to turn them off or be cranky about it, but sometimes just changing the subject or indicating that you hear them but don't necessarily accept their negative feedback is possible. It takes a while to get used to it, but if you surround yourself with positive people, it's much more likely to help you and support your success. The last principle I'm going to talk about today is really taking action steps on a goal and also setting what's called a breakthrough goal. I write down each day 5 things that I can do that will help lead me toward one of my goals. They don't have to be gigantic things like I'm going to write my book today or I'm going to get a publishing contract. But what is one step that I can take that will move me toward my goal? Creating a breakthrough goal is also important. A breakthrough goal would be one that, if it were achieved, would really, really substantially take you on your way to living a successful life, a major, major breakthrough. And I urge you, as you think about your goals, to identify one that you would consider a breakthrough that may help you accomplish some of the other goals. I know that in Jack Canfield's case, he set the goal of selling 1 million Chicken Soup for the Soul books in the year that the books were first published. And he even had to go to 140 different publishers to get one to accept the book. But then he was told that they may sell 45 to 90,000 copies of the book. And actually they sold very close to the 1 million and achieved that breakthrough goal. The financial gain from that allowed him to accomplish many other of his goals and facilitated his further development. So you need to identify the people, places, and things that will help you get to the goal. And as I said, it would be a good to identify 100 items that you want to be, do, or have, and celebrate your success along the way. That reinforces the positive momentum. Some other things that I believe are important to add to your practice and to do to help support your success are listed on this slide. They include meditation. Going inward for some time every day is a very helpful way to keep your mind focused and your emotions balanced, and to help you with focus. I meditate twice daily, and I use the Transcendental Meditation format, but you could really meditate or quiet your mind and think for 15 to 20 minutes a day. It'll make a big difference. It allows you to create some space and objectivity between an event and your reaction to it. It gives you some perspective. Another excellent support is to create visualizations and affirmations. In visualization, you close your eyes and you act as if, or think about and visualize in your mind's eye that you've already achieved the result. If any of you watch the Winter Olympics, you know that the skiers stand before they start flying down the mountain. They close their eyes and they're actually thinking about each move that they're going to make down the course, and visualizing that you've already achieved your goals and your passions, and rehearsing for that helps you get there. Affirmations are statements also of accomplishing the goal. So an example of an affirmation is, everything I need is coming to me right now, easily and effortlessly. Another practice that supports success is to be grateful and to be very intentional and notice each day what we're grateful for. I make a list of, I call it WWWY, what went well yesterday. So in every morning, I make a list of what went well yesterday and what I'm grateful for. Again, they're not gigantic things. It may be a kind statement from a store clerk or getting a parking spot when I needed one in a crowded area. But I track what is going well for me. Journaling and self-reflection is another method. And we talked about mastermind groups. If you can't find a group, I would highly recommend what I call an accountability buddy, which is one person who you talk to regularly about the steps that you've taken. There's something about having that external observer and listener hear what you've done or what you haven't done. A lot of us have somewhat of an external locus of control, meaning that we're more likely to accomplish a goal if we know that someone else is going to in some way hold us accountable for it. Another major principle is ask, ask, ask. There are a lot of people who can help and support us, and often we're reluctant to ask. I have found that most people that in my field of healthcare are eager to help. And if you ask them for support or assistance, they will. Just this week, I contacted a lawyer who's also a nurse who's been very successful with her consulting practice. And I asked her if I could spend a half an hour interviewing her for my website and a blog. And she took her a couple weeks to get back to me, but I got an email yesterday saying I'd be more than happy to do this. Please send me a list of questions and schedule a time, and I'd love to do it. And remember, you may not get exactly what you asked for. You may actually get something better. So to wrap up, I highly recommend that you read the book, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. There's a new edition out. I also recommend that you read The Passion Test by Janet and Chris Atwood, and the book Happy for No Reason by Marcy Shimoff. And I really challenge you to begin your journey to a successful life. And feel free to let me know if you have any questions or about any of the material, or if I can assist you. Thanks.